Who would you put in the same category of evil as Hitler? Pol Pot. Surgeon General Shiro Ishii, director of Unit 731, the unit of the Japanese Imperial Army that orchestrated Japan's incomprehensibly cruel human experimentation and biological weapons testing during World War II. They vivisected babies, pregnant women, and just civilians in general alive with no anesthesia and out of sheer sadistic curiosity. They locked people in massive freezers to see how long frostbite took to kill. Placed live kidnapped civilians on around grenades to see how the damage changed with distance, dropped bubonic plague bombs on villages. Despite some scientific findings, it's the shit they did for no reason other than sadistic pleasure or curiosity that makes them almost worse than the Nazis. From Wikipedia. Some of the tests have been described as psychopathically sadistic, with no conceivable military application. For example, one experiment documented the time it took for 3-day-old babies to freeze to death. Reinhard Heydrich, also known as the Butcher of Prague. Thank fuck he was assassinated. Joseph Mengele. Slayer based Angel of Death, on his butchery in the name of Hitler. Pol Pot killed 1/4 of the population. Absolute madness that they had a seat at the UN whilst he was in power. King Leopold II of Belgium. Heinrich Himmler. Yeah, he was the one who planted the mass genocide idea in Hitler's head. Not that Hitler was a good guy, but from what I've heard, he initially was going to deport any non-Aryans and leave them poor until Heinrich came up with the camps. He was the leader of the SS as well, so he definitely is worse by a lot. That would have made quite a different movie than the original Madagascar. I like to move it would probably have a different meaning. Peter Scully. An Australian pedophile that went to the Philippines to prey on impoverished children. He built an international child sexual abuse ring that offered pay-per-view streams of children being raped and tortured. He promoted Hurtcore, a type of child pornography that focuses on torturing children. A video from him went around the dark web called Daisy's Destruction, in which he raped and tortured an 18-month-old toddler. He made kids dig their own graves before strangling them with a rope. I am not trying to downplay Hitler's evil, but Hitler had an end goal: to rid of the world of people who he thinks are bad. Peter Scully's end goal is to get rich by killing and raping babies. If you had a gun pointed to your head and had to tell what is the most evil, depraved, vile thing you can imagine, Peter Scully did it. Oscar Dirlewanger. Genocidal, torturer, child rapist, mass murderer. A guy so fucking evil even the other SS members thought he was too much. Idi Amin aka Black Hitler was pretty brutal. Edit. Miss Spellsong. Link. There's a story from the British journalist John Snow, who once was on a plane with his news crew, and Idi Amin was alone with them. This was during Amin's reign of terror. Amin had fallen asleep with his coat open, and visible from inside his coat was a pistol. Snow says that he considered taking the revolver, pulling the trigger, and killing the dictator. Obviously, we now know that Snow did not do it. He says he was worried that A. Amin was a large man and if he woke up, he'd kill Snow, and B. that if the bullet passed through Amin, the fuselage might be punctured and depressurize. Snow says to this day his greatest regret in life is that he did not kill Idi Amin as he slept. I cannot imagine the gravity of that situation. A guy like that doesn't fully sleep. He's always half awake in case someone tries to do exactly that. I doubt he would have succeeded. I agree. This may be a bad comparison, but in these what-if scenarios I think of the Breaking Bad scene from Season 2 where Jesse and Walt are preparing to kill Tuco, and Jesse suggests shooting him. As he and Walt run through the laundry list of logistical nightmares involved in killing him, Jesse is unable to even open the gun's chamber. There are so many things that can go wrong in this sort of situation, and if even one of them does go awry, it's game over. His self-imposed title is absolutely hysterical. His Excellency, President for Life, Field Marshal Al-Haji Dr. Idi Amin Dada, V.C., DSO, M.C., CBE, Lord of all the beasts of the earth and fishes of the seas and conqueror of the British Empire in Africa in general and Uganda in particular. Andrew Wakefield. He's the guy who started the "vaccines cause autism" thing. The investigative reporter who uncovered Wakefield's BS has his documentary on YouTube here, and there's also Hbomberguy's deep dive into the topic here. Basically, this man manipulated people's ignorance, fear, and love for their children in order to make money. He lied and cheated. He was completely discredited but is still worshipped as a martyr by anti-vaxxers. He did monumental damage to people's trust in medicine and set autism acceptance backwards by leaps and bounds. He abused disabled children who couldn't properly communicate with invasive, traumatizing, extremely dangerous, and unnecessary procedures to get his false and biased data. He did things to those kids that real doctors try to avoid doing to adults due to risk and stress. He did it for money. He did it for greed. He is still profiting off of his lies. He is still manipulating people. Manipulating parents who are terrified for their kids. He is absolutely despicable and wretched. When I first heard about what he did to those kids during his research, I saw red.